Hello, 7th through 8th period science class. Today for my science project, I am interviewing my scientist, aka my mom, Savin Gallo. And so I'm gonna ask her about 8 questions, and she's gonna answer them. So she is a world history teacher. Kind of explain what you do.
Great, yeah, hi. I'm Savin Gallo. I'm Layla's mom, and I'm happy to be speaking with you today. I work as a historian. I do research on in the Turkish language, predominantly in the country of Turkey in the Middle East, and I look at women who live in Turkey in the southeastern regions who are of the Kurdish ethnicity, and look at their relationship with the Turkish state. They're a minority living under Turkish rule since the 1920s, and I look at how the dominant culture in Turkey portrays them and their experiences with government agencies. And then I also teach world history at NWAC and lead study abroad trips to Turkey and Greece, and I'm working on one in Spain and Morocco. So that's what I do.
Okay, so I have a list of questions here. My paper's a little ripped, but that's okay. So when I looked you up, on the page all, when you look up on something on Google, there's all these links. And so the first link I pressed on, it was like where people could give reviews on you, and they could use these tags to describe you. And so I read through a couple reviews, and then people noted you as a hilarious, respected, inspirational teacher. Do you agree with them personally?
I think I can definitely be hilarious sometimes. And you could probably attest to that. What were the other ones?
Hilarious and inspirational and respected.
Those are really kind things, and I hope that that's true. I work really hard to do the best I can for my students, and I try to be encouraging, which I think is, on the road to inspiring, hopefully. I think that's my aim, so it's really nice to hear that some students think of me that way. So I'm working at it, so hopefully.
Okay, so you have your PhD, and then so whenever I looked you up on the internet and went on that link, they called you Professor. But do you prefer being called Dr. Gallo more than Professor Gallo, or Professor Gallo more than Dr. Gallo?
Oh, I like the sound of both of them. I worked very hard to get either of those titles, and I don't have a preference. And often, my name is pretty unique, and I teach at a community college, and I'm very much interested in trying to level social hierarchies a little bit and reach students. So I often let my adult students call me by my first name, Savin, and I always say you can call me Professor Gallo, you can call me Dr. Gallo, or you can call me Savin, and I explain where my name came from, and just let them call me whatever they're comfortable calling me. It doesn't bother me either way, but yeah.
So how long have you been teaching for?
Oh my gosh, Layla, now you're going to date me. I have been teaching at the college level with my own classroom since 2006, before you were born.
Yep, I was born in 2007.
Yes, so that means that I've been doing it for 11 years now, because you're almost 11. Oh yeah. Man. So a long time. Okay, I should be getting good at this by now.
Okay, now this is kind of just like some fun fact questions.
Okay.
So my question is, I can't remember the exact year, but when did you have your first child? Marco Gallo.
I had Marco Gallo in 2004.
Yeah, okay.
So
and then Carolina was in 2006.
Yeah.
And then I was in 2007.
Yeah, so I had 3 children pretty quickly when I was in graduate school, working on my master's degree when I had Marco, and then working on my PhD and finishing my PhD when you and Carolina were born.
I remember going to your thing where you got your PhD, like, actually.
Yeah, you can remember when I graduated?
Yeah, we were in the giant theater, and then
that's cool.
We went up stage, shook someone's hand, and grabbed a little thing that said PhD given to Savin Gallo. Okay, so I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but also I was also wondering, so if you had Marco in 2004, what age were you?
I was 24 when I had Marco.
Oh, I did the math wrong then.
Yeah.
I was off by a year.
For you math wizards out there, I am 38 years old.
I said you had him at 23, but I was off by a year. So
yeah, so I was
I just did the
24.
math wrong.
24. What else do you have for me?
Okay, so what are your favorite foods? Because you've been all around the world.
Oh, that's a really good question. I love all kinds of food.
I know you do.
I love Indian food, and I love Turkish food, and I love Kurdish food.
Baklava.
I love baklava. You know, I love desserts. So I like kind of spicy salads. I really love this dish called esme salad that has nuts and tomatoes and peppers and onions and parsley, all chopped up together with different spices like sumac and salt and pepper, all mixed up together and eaten. I really love that food. I love tabbouleh, and I really love Italian food too. I love your grandma's lasagna.
The pizza.
And I love pizza. I love Gallo pizza too. So it's hard to pick a favorite food. I like them all.
Okay, speaking of, since you've been all over the world, last question is, how many countries have you been to?
Oh man,
I know you've been to Turkey and Italy. I mean, in Europe.
Yes, and in Europe I've been to Greece. So as you said, Greece, Italy, Turkey, and the Netherlands, and France.
You've been to the Netherlands?
I've been to the Netherlands.
I know you've been to France, but I don't know the Netherlands.
The United Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. And I've been to Iraq and Australia.
Where are all these places?
Where were you when I was at all these places? Luckily, you had grandma and dad to take good care of you, or you were not born. So
I remember when we first moved, I had to go stay with Grandma Cindy in her Oklahoma house, and when you were moving all the stuff from Ohio to Arkansas.
Yes, we're very lucky to have nice grandparents that help take care of you kiddos.
And I even stayed with them for a week, and I was completely fine.
Since this is for a science class, do you want me to talk about anything related to history of science? Because I'm a historian. I'm not a natural scientist. I'm not a chemist or a physicist or an astronomer or a biologist.
But
you want me to answer that part?
Yeah.
Or do you have an idea?
Good. You can answer it. I mean, this is the interview for you, so I'm going to sit right here.
Okay.
I'm going to listen.
So, historians are storytellers. We try to find out what happened in the past, what humans did in the past, and how that changed over time. It is usually considered a humanities, but it's also considered a social science because we can't just tell a story. Like, I can't just make up what happened.
You can't say potatoes were made by. You can't say potatoes were made by tomatoes. You can't say that.
I can't. No, that's not. I wouldn't say that because as a historian, I have to use some scientific principles and empiricism. I have to base my claims on evidence. So I have to find evidence. If I don't find a document or art or something, some evidence from the time period that I'm studying that supports whatever claim I'm making, however I'm trying to interpret these facts, whatever I want to say about what happened in the past, my thesis, then I can't say it. So I have to have evidence. So in some ways it's very scientific, the processes of understanding history and writing history, because you have to have evidence. You can do interviews, you can make observations, and there's definitely a good bit of creative interpretation that happens, but you have to have evidence.
So that's all the time we have for today, because I gotta get to dance class.
All right. Thanks for talking with me today.
Peace out.